Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Powers Productions. Today, I am joined by Miguel Pagan. He's the head instructor of where we're at now, Legacy Jiu Jitsu and Taekwondo, located in Hudson, Florida. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself and tell them about yourself and the school and how it came to be?
Good. Okay. Well, first of all, hi, Paul, and thank you so much for having me here.
No problem.
Hello to everybody, all there, to all his followers and fan base and friends that follow him. Legacy Jiu Jitsu started last year. Legacy Jiu Jitsu and Taekwondo. Last year, when two parents came to me and said, "Hey, we know you had some little issues here. Would you like to start and look for another place?" And I said, "Hell yeah, let's do it." So, to make a long story short, as far as how it happened, we got together. We found this 3,300 square foot location, and on the 52 and Little, the actual address is 8806 State Road 52. We're in the Oak Plaza Mall, and we just took care of business, opened up, and we are now, if I remember correctly, over 70 students strong in an 8-month period. So, and the rest is history and building a new future. And that's basically the baby steps of Legacy Jiu Jitsu.
How many students do we have here at the school total?
A total, including the women's kickboxing, the yoga, Taekwondo, Jiu Jitsu, as of now, we have 71 or 72.
It's pretty big.
Yeah, that's in an 8-month period.
Right.
The retention is very high. For those of you that are not familiar with martial arts, the first year of almost every martial arts school, it's been for many, many years that the first year is the hardest, like any business, but especially for martial arts. They collapse, they fall, for whatever reason may be. So let's just pick on one, and that would be for retention, keeping the students from kids to adults. It is very hard. It isn't easy, and you have to know a little bit of everything in order to be a good quality instructor and to make it happen and work. So 71, 72 is a major accomplishment in 8 months. And to let you know, we are almost 50-50. 50% of women, 50% of men, not just male-dominated school. So I'm very proud of that in the way that we're going in our school opening up, retaining our students, and everything looking good moving forward.
Now I got a bunch of questions for you.
Yeah.
Most of the questions are about the school. Some of them are about you and your life and what some of the things you've encountered in the last 3 decades of doing Taekwondo.
Yes, sir.
So we'll start with number one. When and why did you start Taekwondo?
I started Taekwondo in 1990. Why? And I've got to make a long story short. I took my little cousin to his Taekwondo class in Brooklyn, New York. That's where I'm from. Born and raised. I moved to Florida 4 years ago. And it was a very small school. So they had no seats for the parents. So we stayed outside while the door was open. And I watched and watched, and I was very consumed by watching it. It just attracted me. 23 years old. I started late. And then at the end of the class, when I'm ready for my cousin to come out so I could take him back home, the instructor goes, "You seem very interested in doing it. Why don't you come and take the adult class?" I said, "I don't know. My job doesn't let me do too many things at night. It's a lot of overtime, by the way. I'm a retired UPS driver." And he goes, "Oh, just give it a shot." So I came on. I did it. That was in November, the week before Thanksgiving of 1990. And I haven't looked back ever since. This Thanksgiving coming up, it will be 32 years I would be in Taekwondo.
How long did it take for you to get to your black belt?
It took me 4 years.
4 years?
To get to my black belt, yes. 4 years, and it wasn't an easy 4 years because my instructors are very militant. which is the way it was 30 years ago. It's the way it should be, because militant doesn't mean that it's up, 2, 3, 4, up, 2. No, it doesn't mean that. Militant, to me, in the martial arts, is another word to describe discipline, and that's what people bring their kids and they do for discipline. So, even though I was already an adult, a young adult at 23, I didn't mind that because I was very interested in it, and that was it as far as that phase was concerned.
Which color belt in Taekwondo have you learned the most technique on,
Oh,
and which color belt was the most challenging for you?
the best belt for me was blue belt.
That's when you learned the most technique.
I was at, I just hit everything. Everything new that I had to learn for that
Everything
level
came in together.
just came really nice together. And it was blue belt. So in blue belt Taekwondo, that is minimum if your school is not a belt factory, and my school was not a belt factory in Brooklyn, New York. That didn't exist. It took about a little more than 2 years to be a blue belt, and that's when it's like started clicking. I was always a good jumper. It was just a matter of the technique, and the blue belt. I was like, you know what? I'm getting my black belt, and that's the turning point for me in Taekwondo. That I knew I was pretty much at least going to get my black belt, and that was the big one. My favorite one was that part of the question. Also, the favorite one.
The one part was which color belt have you learned the most technique
So
on,
blue belt.
and which one was the most challenging for you to
The
learn?
most challenging one was probably green belt.
Is that the one after white?
That's before blue belt. Yeah, so it's white, yellow, green, blue, red, black.
Right.
So the green belt, I don't know why it was challenging. Maybe because in green belt is where you start doing most of your jumping kicks, and not most. You start doing jumping kicks, and even though I was young and a good jumper, you still have to apply the technique.
Right.
So it doesn't matter if you're a good jumper, you still have to apply the technique. And I was having a little difficulty, and I guess you could say when that light bulb goes on was when, to me, I just barely made the green belt test pass to go to blue belt. And then like 6 months into my blue belt, it just clicked. Bam! I was throwing the kicks everywhere, getting close to people's faces without touching them, real accuracy. And I was like, okay, you know, if I look at it back now, that was a turning point. But then I didn't know because I was a young martial artist. You know?
How has Taekwondo helped you and benefited you in the real world of paying bills, supporting the family, things like that?
All right, so paying the bills, Taekwondo didn't help me in any way. Paying the bills was automatic. My responsibility. I got married at 19. Still same.
Younger than me.
My wife of 36 years, going on 37, we're still married together, 3 kids, 2 grandchildren. So that wasn't in there, but everything else pertaining to that question, it's martial arts.
Did you learn anything from Taekwondo that you could apply to the real world?
Absolutely. And what it taught me was to be responsible for my actions. So what do I mean by that? If your responsibility is to learn a certain level that you're at, that's part of your actions. A lot of people think, oh, it's just repetition. It is, but martial arts is not just about repetition. You have to live or come close to living that section of martial arts. So if you're a green belt going for blue belt and there's 10 techniques, you just don't do the technique just to get over the hump. You do the technique to own them, to make them yours. And when I translated that to my daily life, I said, wait a minute, I'm going to be a career truck driver. I got to own my driving skills, not to crash into everybody. I'm going to be delivering packages for a living. I got to own that responsibility. And that's how that translated martial arts into making me better at what I do. Yet I was a 23-year-old young man, you can still be a little cuckoo in the head by doing stuff you're not supposed to be doing. And the discipline of martial arts and everything that came with it just
Do
built me more.
do you think for somebody who's passionate about Taekwondo or any other sport, boxing, football, do you think at some point maybe the hobby or sport that they do outside of work matters more than their source of income? Or like, do you think that if someone's passionate about something, that if their work gets in the way, do you think that maybe you back then would have dropped your work, I don't know, and have pursued Taekwondo and maybe have accepted a job that didn't pay as much just so
Right.
you could put more time into your craft?
Well, that's an excellent question, Paul, because I had that opportunity um, from many people to say, hey, let's do this, let's do that, we could do that, and I refused to because, um, and so everybody knows I don't have a college education, um
Only a high school
high
diploma?
school,
There you go.
and I knew, and I'm a truck driver by trade. It's okay. I can live with that. It's not a big deal to me. But being young, married young, and a young father in the martial arts, it's very hard to make a living. So I just said no. I'm gonna do it as a passion that I enjoy, and I'm gonna fit it in to my career. I didn't fit martial arts and then fit my job into martial arts. Martial arts had to be fitted into my
Because
career.
without
Because-
your source of income,
Because
you couldn't
I
provide.
chose, to answer your question, I chose my career as a UPS employee. So could I have done it and try to excel and do all that other good stuff and become a world champion? Yeah, I had the tools. I had the tools. An excellent jumper. I'm a self-motivator by myself, period. Martial arts didn't give me that. So that was a good thing for me.
Do you think?
And I had the passion for it. But I chose to raise my family with a career. Yeah.
Did you ever think maybe to pursue any other form of martial art other than Taekwondo or Jiu Jitsu?
Yeah, so when I became more mature in martial arts, I had a classification change in UPS. And I had to change my hours, so I wasn't able to go at night, which I normally did. And when I spoke to my instructor, now master, I said, look, I can't come at night anymore. I changed my hours. This is what's happening. And I asked for permission. And he said, of course, as long as you know where your home is. And I went and I WTF, Wing Chun, Aikido, Hapkido, and each one I did close to a year, each one as I continued. I didn't get ranked in any of them. Whoever had ranking, whatever style had ranking, because I didn't care about ranking. I was already a black belt at the time, second degree. So I really didn't care about the ranking system then. Then came Jiu Jitsu, which I picked up here in Florida 4 years ago, going on 4 years. And Jiu Jitsu in 4 years has done what Taekwondo has done for me in a short amount of time. So Taekwondo is my passion. Taekwondo comes first, Jiu Jitsu is second. But Jiu Jitsu is freaking amazing. So to follow my pattern of never taking rank in the other styles that had rank, I didn't want it. I didn't care about it. Jiu Jitsu is different because I want to be a black belt in Jiu Jitsu. I truly do.
What's a couple things that if you had the opportunity, you would go back 30 years ago when you first stepped into that gym, the Taekwondo gym? What would you tell yourself 30 years ago? Maybe a piece of information that you didn't know, or advice, or something to help your journey along the way. What's something you would tell
Right.
yourself?
So in Taekwondo, the original style of Taekwondo, not the Olympic style, which is okay because the Olympic style, they go and they represent what our main art is, which is our main art is kicking. Jiu-Jitsu is grappling or down, and Hapkido is wrist joint, throwing, a little bit of kicking. Aikido is a lot of circular movement, Roman wrestling, whatever it is, they do a little more grappling like that. So every art has its specifics, and then they add on to it. Well, with Taekwondo, I had a chance in the 1990s to do Jiu-Jitsu. And to answer his question now to the point, if any of you do any art, doesn't matter what it is, if it's standing, go find ground. If it's ground, go find standing. Be proficient in one of them. The other one is to complement the style. I don't do Jiu-Jitsu to be number one. I do Jiu-Jitsu to complement my Taekwondo. Hence, makes me a mixed martial artist. Not a mixed martial artist fighting for money. So, if I go back and I turn the clock, it's do my Taekwondo, go back and meet those people that were blue belts in Jiu-Jitsu, and 30 years ago that was a big thing. I knew several people like that in New York, and I decided not to follow up with the Jiu-Jitsu, and I should have done that. So that would be my turnaround. If I would go back, that's what I would fix. As far as Taekwondo is concerned, I would fix nothing. Nothing. In Taekwondo, we throw elbows, we throw knees, we do wrist locks, and a few throws. We just don't specialize in them.
Y'all don't get on the ground.
Right? No ground fighting whatsoever.
The pure art.
Once we
fighting.
throw you, we just finish from up top.
Right.
We don't do anything ground. Once we wrist lock you, we either let you go or we break it.
What's the for? Would you guys get on your knees or anything like that, or is it just on your feet always?
No, if somebody knocks us down, we have positions on the ground to attack you so you don't get on top of us.
So you're vaguely, go ahead.
Yeah, so if you was to knock me down and I hold a position, the position's only to stop you from getting on top of me. We don't grapple.
No.
The true form of Taekwondo does not grapple. But we do have a few sweeps, a few wrist locks, a few throws, but we are 90%, 80% on kicking art and
Pure
combined with our hands. Yeah.
If do you think in martial arts or any form of sport, football, basketball, whatever it may be, do you think breaks as in time off, maybe to heal, or even if you're not hurt, if you just need to step away from the sport a little bit, maybe go find something else, maybe it's not working out for you, breaks in sports, do you think they're good for the soul and
Yes.
time off from the sport? Do you think that?
To a certain extent, and
Not walking away from
not to a certain extent because, and I don't want to sound like I'm trying to play both sides of the question, but martial arts, like I tell my students when I put stuff on Facebook, I always put martial arts is for life or training is for life. So it's not a fad. You know who's a fad for? It's for people that just want to talk and say, oh, I did martial arts. I did that. That's the fad. But real people that want to do martial arts or learn it will do what Paul just said. You got 2 years of training, a year and a half of going crazy, and now your body's talking to you, hey, step back a little bit, give me a month of rest, otherwise I'm going to break down on you. There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. But in order for you to make martial arts a part of your life, you have to do it. If you want to survive and live, you have to eat. If you want your car to drive when it's in working condition, you have to put gas. And that's the same with martial arts. Okay? Anybody can go and throw 3 punches for 2 weeks in some kind of camp and say, I did martial arts with Emilio Estevez. I'm just throwing a name out there. and now, what does that mean? It means nothing. You train hard. You do the best you can to whatever your life is giving you. If you need to take a break, you take the break. And then you go back to training. I mean, there's no other formula. Really nothing else. All right? I've been doing this 32 years. My wife hates it. But I love her. I've been with her for 37. I don't care. I'm going to continue training martial arts.
Has she never thought about maybe getting into it?
Oh, no.
I know that your sister trained for a little bit. Did she
Yes.
never want to?
No. My wife was not into any of that. She's not into any type of physical activity. Now I'm trying to get her into yoga because we're much older now, her and
Does
I.
she want to do that?
She didn't want to do anything, so she's doing yoga here at Legacy Jiu-Jitsu. We have yoga on Sundays and Wednesdays. And she's doing a little bit of that because I asked her, please, we're getting older. We got to try to keep our body composition, this and that. But when I used to take her to the tournaments, she would support me.
She here.
And then all of a sudden, she knew how long the tournaments would take. Because don't forget, 30 years ago, there wasn't computers and all these apps to help you with smooth comp and all that. It was all handwriting. And we would be there 9-10 hours. And if you were a black belt, you were there to the end. Because you had to judge after that. That's why the black belts went last. So they wouldn't compete early and then leave. And then the tournament was held with no black belts. So you would be there all day. And she hated it. So she, after like the third tournament, even though I wasn't a black belt, she stopped coming. She was like, I'm not, you go on your own.
Speaking of going to tournaments and matches and things like that, is a two-parter.
Okay.
When do you think for somebody who's just getting into Taekwondo is a good time to start going to them and competing in them? And for the second part, what's something that a tournament or a match could teach a student in Taekwondo? What's something they could pull from it, learn from it, maybe?
Right. So I think my experience allows me to answer this question, the first parter, with it doesn't matter what martial art. Okay? And what do I mean by that? You need to give yourself a little bit of training time. So
you know what you're doing.
Right. Of course, you said Taekwondo, so let's just say you give yourself 3 or 4 or 5 months till you get to like a yellow stripe or a yellow belt. Then a tournament comes around.
Get it?
Right in there. Don't waste any time. Just do it. And that's the same with Jiu-Jitsu and any other Shotokan, Ishinru, Krav Maga, whoever holds any type of tournament. Whether it be a striking tournament or just a form tournament or weapons tournament. And why do I say wait 4, 5, or 6, 7 months? Let's talk about the people with no martial arts experience. The discipline that they're taking. You cannot just be a white belt and say, I'm doing a tournament because I'm in this school. No. If it's a striking art, you have to learn how to block, punch, make combinations, move, footwork, dodging, slipping. All these striking arts, whether you use everything I just mentioned, just a little bit or a lot, needs to be applied. So, I would say, give yourself anywhere from 4 to 6 months of training, and then go. Why? Because if every martial arts school that joined that tournament doesn't have sandbaggers, you should be fighting somebody your skill level.
What's a sandbagger?
A sandbagger is somebody that holds rank at the low level before they go to the high level just to win a medal. So that's sandbagger is a nice way of saying
douchebag.
You're a freaking cheater. And they're in all arts. All arts do that. So, if everything is held true to the martial arts integrity, then you'll fight, as we're using Taekwondo, as a white belt, yellow stripe, or maybe a yellow belt, and you will fight true to the other person that's at your level. So you should have the same skills or similar. So
what's something somebody could learn from?
Now, learning from the tournament, the main thing is your technique. Was it good enough to hit, block, see, dodge, read? Were you telegraphing your moves? So this you take back, you bring back to the Dojang on Taekwondo. Dojang is the gym. If we do Japanese terminology, is dojo. So you come back to the Dojang, and you'll work on whatever it is. 30 years ago, you had a big VHS camera up here. Then you take the VHS and you put it and you can watch yourself fight. It was too expensive. Not too many people had it. Nowadays, you record it on your phone, and then you can go. So it's totally apples and oranges from 30 years ago to now. So you understand. So you have to compare these parts of the questions and experience that I have of how it goes. So what we used to do was just go by memory or what our instructors saw. And in ITF Taekwondo and really any type of traditional martial arts, we're not called coaches. We're called instructors. Uh, Instructors hold a higher level than a word coach. Instructor also tells your student, do you want to emulate me, copy me, be like me as I'm giving you these skills? That's an instructor. A coach is just somebody that say, oh, I'll teach you this move, and then never sees you again for 6 or 7 months. An instructor can be for life. And in my 4 years of jiu-jitsu, coaches that I've seen are great, but to me they don't represent for life. A professor of jiu-jitsu can represent for life.
Do you believe, as far as martial arts wise, not any other sport like basketball or something like that, in the martial art world, do you think there is any form of martial art that is unnecessary to learn, or do you think isn't as what's the word I'm looking for? Isn't as powerful, or is there any form of martial art that you think there is that you shouldn't have to learn? That it doesn't cover everything, and
You want to be straight up?
yes,
It's a waste of time.
yes.
Okay. No, every martial arts is good.
You think it's good to get out there?
Everything,
and explore?
yes, everything. I was very militant many years ago, and that's why I didn't do jiu-jitsu 25 years ago. I had access to all that stuff.
You wanted to
I just
put
believe.
time.
No. I just believe. Oh, why am I going to fight on the ground? Every fight starts standing up, and if he lets me get in on him, I'll just blast him in his face, or I'll break his kneecap with a nice strong roundhouse, and I'll start elbowing him. And that's the inexperience and the arrogance that I had many years ago. And so now, because your question is very valid, and my experience now, hell no. You learn as much as you can from any style. But, and there's a big but, because in America we tend to do this over here, which is okay. I love this country. You go and you learn 3 moves from another style, 6 moves from another style, and that's all beautiful. Not a problem. But don't get it confused that you're a martial artist. Don't get it confused. You learn whatever you can. But to me is, how can you learn 3, 7, 8 moves and 6 different styles and consider yourself that you have a base, a foundation? So, you want to be a complete martial artist? You have to have a foundation, a base. Okay? You see this building right here? If they wanted to build an extension on this building, don't you think the foundation has to be strong enough? But that's the same with martial arts. And I understand why people go and they learn 3 moves in jiu-jitsu, 3 moves in Muay Thai, and I understand all.
I think they're Batman.
I don't have a problem with it because it's fantastic. You go and you try to make money and get punched in the face to make money. That's fine.
Did you ever try to do that and go?
No, I couldn't stand it. No, I can't stand it.
You don't. Well,
I
what do you think about?
I can't stand it because it doesn't represent me.
Right.
Okay, I don't like for
Cage.
me. No, I don't like for me people saying in the MMA world, unless they have a black belt and their career, like St. Paul, George St. Paul, Ronda Rousey, Royce. These people are all life
Crafted
martial artists. I don't appreciate
People who just
a
want
regular Joe coming in the street, learning 6 moves, fighting for money or fighting, and they call themselves martial artists. So I never liked that. So I don't really care for that. No, I don't give 2 shits.
What So as far as MMA goes, in the term MMA, you've
Right.
never. Have you supported it, or
No.
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 You
I
don't-
stopped watching the UFC or any fight. Every now and then I do
Good
because if somebody invites me and they're my friend, I will go. They're my friend. I'll go, and I really don't pay attention to it.
If somebody who's big is fighting, I might turn on and see watch.
Yeah, I would do that.
Yeah,
I would do
but
that.
If it's
Yeah.
like some small
Yeah.
If it's somebody big like
No.
Connor or something,
Yeah.
Oos or Usman or someone like that.
No, I mean, no. I only go if somebody invites me. I can order it online anytime I want. It just didn't do nothing for me.
You don't care about.
I really don't care about it. No, I never did. I never will. Do I respect them for the training that they do to go get punched in the face and bloodied up? Hell yeah. Hello. They're getting punched in the face. You got to respect that. I just don't like the aspect of, unless they are long career martial artists, that you learn 6 or 7, 8 moves and you think you are a martial artist. It's just look up the word, the definition of a true martial artist. It's it. And I can they'll probably kick my ass in 2 seconds. Who the hell knows? But that doesn't mean nothing to me. It doesn't matter. It really, truly doesn't.
We're at about a half-hour mark here. I got a couple more questions, and then we'll close it off. General Choi
Ooh.
is the founder and creator of Taekwondo. If you could meet him, what's a couple things you would tell him or ask him or something like that?
Yeah.
Is he a role model to you? Is he an inspiration?
Not a role model, but an inspiration, yes, because of what he did with Taekwondo. So real quick, because we only have a limited time. Taekwondo was named in April 11th of 1955. So obviously the word Taekwondo for General Choi was already made. It was just, had to get stamped, had to get sealed. Whatever General Choi was doing, he had to make sure it was done right. To his liking, I don't know. So I had a chance to meet General Choi in May, a few months before he passed away, which he died June 15, 2002. He did his last seminar a few months before, something like that, and then he passed away and I didn't get a chance to meet him. I am not too far of a disciple of General Choi. 2 of my 4 degrees are assigned by him. Okay, so we're very close. My instructors that opened up the schools, 3 partners opened up 1 school, so they're all my instructors. One of them, Master Vincent Fatagato, he was actually,
I don't know.
yeah, he's actually on the first VHS tape that came out by General Choi doing Dosan. So my lineage is very close to General Choi. At the time, Mr. Vitale, now Grandmaster Vitale, is a known authority figure in Taekwondo all over the world. Looked for by the North and the South Koreans to help them find information on General Choi. That should tell you that much. On top of him being the vice president of the United States Taekwondo Federation when it first came here, which was also 2 of my degrees signed by Senior Grandmaster Chuck Seraph. So my lineage is very close to General Choi. Have I ever met him? No. But it's not too far away where it gets watered down 5, 6 generations later. I think it's 3 generations for me. On the edge of close to 4, but I'm more like 3. And he inspired me because as I learned more and more and more of what this man was thinking when he did it, it was like, wow, he just never stopped. Sacrificed family, what he believed in, the spread of Taekwondo, all the enemies that he created, all the jealousy that was around him, and nothing stopped him. So that's where the inspiration comes in. No matter what I do, whether people don't like me or hate on me, or maybe I'm the pain in the ass, who knows, right? It's not going to stop me. I'm just going to continue going. And that's why here in Legacy, I'm going to make sure that I continue to spread Taekwondo and General Choi's way to the way I was taught, okay? And just don't stop looking back. Just go forward. And that's what he did.
Where do you see Legacy at in 10 years from now? Where do you hope to be?
Okay. And first, let's do a 5-year plan.
Okay.
10-year plan is biting off more than you could chew. Let's do a 5-year plan. If the way Legacy is growing and my partners continue to have faith in me that I'm going to lead them in the right direction, I could see this school easily 2 times bigger in another location.
Several locations.
No, no,
or-
no, no, no.
Oh, move
I
to
could
a
see
bigger
this
place.
school
Shit.
bigger, 2 times bigger in another location. Easily 2 times. So this is 3,300 square feet altogether. I can see 6 to 7,500 square feet of this school.
What do you love about students who come to Legacy and learn from you? What's the best part about teaching them, and what do you hope that they can grasp from your teachings?
Wow, the best part of when I see a kid come to class or a young teenager, maybe a young adult,
Anybody.
anybody really, anybody, you know. But it's in martial arts, it's mostly towards teens and kids, because when you get an adult, they're already molded. So they're like, oh yeah, well I saw this on the UFC and I think I could do it this way. No, no. There's so many variables in a kid, in a lock, and this. So they're molded already to their stubborn ways, which is okay. But when you walk in that door,
Leave
you
that shit
either
outside.
do it my way,
Right, or get out.
because I'm the one that's experienced, or you go to another school. I see you later. Have a good day. Not a problem. But when it comes to the kids and the teenagers, you're still molding them, and hopefully you're a good influence. And when they learn the technique, it is the most satisfying thing, especially when you see their face. It's incredible. I've been teaching since 1998 on a regular basis. I've opened up 2 schools of my own, and this is my 4th school altogether. And I've been successful with all of them. The 2 schools that I had in New York, I sold for whatever reasons of burning out. Remember, I'm a retired UPS guy, so I never quit UPS. And then over here in Florida, met a dirt bag and wound up leaving him and coming here.
That's right.
So the most satisfying thing is when a kid or a teenager gets a technique and you see their face like, oh my God, finally. And that's priceless. Priceless.
We got 2 more questions for you.
Okay.
Number 1, what advice has been given to you outside of the martial arts gym that you could take it and apply inside the martial arts gym with your training or something like that?
Don't be a hypocrite or be phony. Yeah. My grandmother once told me, just be yourself, do the best you can. Don't hide your feelings to an extent, because there are different situations. And whatever happens, happens. And that's good. And pretty much that's what I try to do. If you don't like what you see, it's okay. I don't hold it against you. But my mentality is, too bad. You're not changing me. Because I am who I am, just like you are who you are, you are who you are. And I shouldn't try to change you either. Right? So my grandmother told me that many years ago. And I took that into martial arts. So,
Help you along your journey.
and that's what I do, just like that. What you see is what you get when you see me teaching class, and you see me with the kids messing around and trying to make. It's just the way it is, So, the more you can be a true person in the Dojang, and if I was teaching Jiu-Jitsu Dojo, the parents will see that too, and the adults will see it. Okay, you know what? At least I know he's real, and he's not a phony. And that's
he
all
knows
good.
what he's talking about.
That's
He
all
knows
good.
his art.
Whether you're right or wrong, you just keep it real, and you'll be okay.
This last question is, I think, a very personal question, if
Yeah.
I may ask.
You could ask whatever you want. If I don't want to answer it, I'll tell you.
That's right. What is your biggest failure, and
Ooh.
what have you learned from it?
Holy chihuahua!
Either it be in the gym.
Yeah, that's a couple of them.
Well, what?
I would say that's at least a dozen. Wow. I would say the top of the line is not pushing every single thing to my full potential. Yeah. I'll give you a good example. I was a 2 lap bowling in bowling, and I bowled like crazy 15 years in the league, practiced 20 games a week, 30 games a week. I'm really good. And now not anymore, but because I don't train the bowling as much. And I could have done, if I would have pushed more, I would have been I could have bowled for money and international
Do
visitational.
you wish you would have continued?
I should have gave it a shot. You know.
I didn't know this about you.
Oh,
I
I'm
didn't know
very
you
good
could bowl.
bowler. I studied, I looked, I read books. Do you know how many muscles you use? Just to show you how deep I am into bowling. How many muscles you use when you bowl?
Are you know,
When you do this action and you bowl,
probably your back, lat.
159 muscles from whatever dominant side that you bowl with. That's how deep I was into bowling. Okay, that's one. Number two, the Taekwondo, martial arts. I'm very good as an instructor. I have a chip on my shoulder. I don't think that I'm better than anybody, but I do have a chip on my shoulder for my confidence of how good I am to teach somebody and retain somebody. So I have a saying. I can teach a blind man how to walk a new trail. Do you know what blind people do when they in their normal day life? When a blind man walks his normal routine, or a blind woman walks his normal trail, there's a pattern that they do. They know how many steps from here to the stoplight, from here to the bathroom, from here to there. I can teach that. How to make a blind man walk a new path. Because that's the confidence. So to go back to your question is, I could have taught for a career. And I could have, because I didn't, because I made a decision, was at 2, 3, or 4, or 5 schools because I'm that good at it.
But you teach here though.
No, I teach here, but the question was what I could have done more, and I regret. Teaching is one of them. And remember, I said there's about 12 of them. So I just gave you one, I gave you this one, and not making the right investments at the right time when they were so obvious. You know, things like that. But if I take all those things and put it into general picture for my life, it likes knock everything down. 3 kids, 2 grandchildren, married to the same woman for 37 years, never been in jail, no drugs.
Not yet.
Yeah, right. No drugs, a career as a truck driver. Came from a broken home.
Did you have your CDL?
Yes,
Class A or Class B?
Class A.
Oh,
I drove
shit.
tractor trailers. Yeah.
I want
Came from a broken home, raised from a single mother with 3 kids, and all this other stuff. When I think about that, all those things that I know that I could have done good and not taken a chance, just brushes everything away. So.
Well, I hope this video promotes those school, and I hope we
Yes.
get more people inside of the door.
Yes.
Is there anything else you would like to add
Yeah,
or
I
tell
would.
them?
I would like to tell everybody out there that sees this. Obviously, I'm going to post it on Facebook. I'm a normal person, relaxed, well go. I like to have fun when I teach, but I just want to tell everybody out there, at Legacy Jiu Jitsu and Taekwondo, you're going to get teachings from black belts that are my classmates from Newport Richie Jiu Jitsu with Professor
Where's that at?
Michael Geary, 3rd degree black belt at 805
Oak Live
Lane on
Oak
Live
Live
Street. Yeah, in Tarpon. He went from Newport Richie, had to go to Tarpon, but he kept the name Newport Richie Jiu Jitsu. I've been with him going on 3.5 years, and so I brought my classmates to teach here, and so there's no strangers off the street. On top of my experience at being a 4th degree black belt in ITF style Taekwondo and OTO, International Taekwondo Organization, and 3-stripe blue belt under Michael Geary. You're going to get good quality training, no babysitting. It's not a babysitting school. I tell my parents and my kids that. They're going to learn to whatever I feel the classes should be structured for that age category. Do we have fun? Yeah. Are they going to just play games and then start getting stripes because they were able to play Ring Around the Rosie or an obstacle course for 2 months? No, that's not happening. No. They will have games, and most of the structure will be striking, grabbing, moving, falling, break falling. I throw my kids, I flip them, 3 and 4-year-olds. So you're going to get good quality teaching. And everybody out there that has me on Facebook and Twitter, just share this and like. Paul is a great kid, and I kick because he can be my son. Like and subscribe to his channel. It's not going to cost you anything. Like and subscribe, even if you never look at it. Like and subscribe.
Just push the button.
And push the button, right?
God damn it.
and help him out get a few more viewers.
What does the schedule here for Legacy? What's the schedule for it?
So it's a lot to remember now, but I'll tell you it's Legacy BJJ TKD at gmail.com. And then we have Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday Taekwondo. You can look at the hours, it's just too many hours. And we have Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday Jiu-Jitsu. Wednesday we have yoga. Sunday we have yoga. Sunday we have women's only kickboxing. Contact kickboxing, not cardio kickboxing. The ladies that are here now have gone through a progression. Now they're going to start hitting more pads instead of a standing bag, a lot more movement. And then after that progression, they will be grabbing and striking off the kickboxing. So you can call it like kickboxing / self-defense if you want to. But they can't wait for that. They're waiting for it. They're waiting for it. So.
Do you guys plan on adding any more classes?
Yeah. Since we are 8 months old, we're going to be looking to add more classes as they deem fit to scheduling, on demand, overpopulation of one class, and we might have to separate it. Again, it's a new school, 8 months old, going on 9, just looking for changing schedules, yeah. But pretty much it's going done. So.
Well, thank you for your time. I'm very grateful for your teachings. I'm very thankful that you can put out a couple hours and talk with me and film this, and hopefully this will promote the school and kind of get it steered a little bit faster.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure it will. And if it doesn't, it's all good. Look, can't make everybody come to a school. Can't make everybody go to a boxing school. You can't make everybody go to a Planet Fitness. You just put it out there. You do the best you can. Hope people come and understand what martial arts is. And by the way, I don't have any type of sickness. I talk with my hands because I'm from Brooklyn. All right, just so you know that.
Well, thank you everybody for watching. Make sure to leave a like and share this video. Let's try to get, I'd say, 100 views would be nice. Just
that would be nice.
Maybe even more if that.
I'm gonna contact all my people and say, look,
Me too.
Watch it if you like it. Okay, fine, like it. If you don't, then just erase it or whatever it is that you guys do.
Thank you very much, and I will see you guys next video.
Oh, and happy Easter. And for whatever other holiday you celebrate this upcoming weekend, God bless and be safe.
Have a good weekend.
Yes. Ciao.